Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode here on Britain's Farm. So it's been a while, been just over a week I think since the last episode, but we are as busy as ever, and we're getting the field. You remember in the last episode we got this one mowed, or mown, I think it is, and I've rode it and baled it and sold off the bales that I made out of it, and here we are now with the plough or the drag, I guess, and we're in now dragging and ploughing it over. As soon as we get it ploughed, the power will come in. The power will then break it back down again for me, and then it will be drilled. This one's coming beans, and the one to my left, I think it is coming peas. So we've got two sort of biggish fields then of each of those crops. I would like to grow like a couple of more fields of them, but I, you need a lot of the actual crop itself to make any money from it, and the other fields are just too small and it's not worth it. Ideally, I would put potatoes or sugar beet in those other two fields because they are small. Because for small fields, we'll get quite a lot of potatoes and sugar beet out of it. But I don't have no way at the moment of harvesting potatoes. But that will change because late 90s I got CQ made a green potato harvester, a troweled one. A bit like the Grimmy with the what I call the box elevator, and the Roper Kellio, I think it's called. So it's similar shape to that, but it was green. It began with W, the name. I'm sure it did. It was German, obviously, and yeah, I had one of them. And then a few years later, when Ross, I think, no, was it Ross? I can't remember which, off the top of my head, I can't remember which toy manufacturer brought it out, but they brought out a Grimmy GT 170, and Siku, funnily enough, about a year, maybe 2 years after they brought out the green potato harvester, they brought out a Grimmy they bought out a Grimmy self-propelled harvester. So that we in theory we could have one of them, because as I say, Grimmy did bring one. I think I did have it for a little while. I think it was because so me and he wasn't officially my Uncle Dick, but that was how everyone kind of referred to him as. But he used to collect. So he was a very clever man. He was very clever with his hands. Very, very clever with his hands. He could make anything, build anything. He's just one of those really practical people. Could fix any machine. Could, build anything from toys to steam engines. He really was just. He was about 7 feet tall. Probably getting on a good 15, 16 stone. Always in his boots and his blue overalls. I used to laugh and joke to him because I used to say to him, Dick, I bet you go to bloody bingo in those overalls, don't you, son? He used to laugh. But he used to collect the tractors, and because what used to happen was that he collected everything from sort of steam engines to, through the modern era. The same as what I did, although I didn't collect the steam engines. And he would very often, I'd sort of, he lived, I don't know, 10 minutes down the road from where I lived. As I've said before, in the little village that I live in, my nan was a 5-minute walk away. So my Uncle Dick was, I don't know, actually, I mean, he was only a 5-minute walk from my nan, or a couple of minute walk from my nan, so he was probably only about 7 minutes away by walking. But right, I think what we'll do is, I think we'll go up and down now. So I didn't see him all that often, but sort of when I did, if I had a model that I'd broken, or a model that I wanted a conversion doing, or something like that, I'd go to Uncle Dick and explain what I wanted, and of course he would do it. And I'd sort of ring him up and say, or I'd go and see him and I'd say, oh, Dick, I've got this or I've got that, and he'd go, oh, let's have a look. And he'd either come over to my mum's or whatever, and have a look at the models, or my nan's if they were at my nan's, and he'd come over and have a look, and I'd go over likewise. And sometimes, and I remember with the Grimmy, this the kind of the point I'm getting to. So the Grimmy I bought, I say it must have been about a year, maybe 2 years later, after the green potato harvester that I used to pull around, and he saw the Grimmy, and he said to me, and as I say, I'd had it probably about a week. I'd had it like a week or a couple of weeks or whatever. And he was like, he goes, well, I really like that. So I said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, I driven one of them at White's. He used to work on a farm at White's. He was a structural engineer there, so he used to build the sheds and stuff like that. But he used to work on the tractors as well. Now, to put it into some sort of context, how sort of small my village is. So my Uncle Dick, my Uncle George, my granddad, and I, many years later, or my nan as well, all worked for the same family farm. So Uncle Dick, Uncle George, and Grandad all worked there at the same time. And then in sort of the early to mid 2000s, so 2006, I hired my tractor and went there. And then in 2007 they gave me a full-time job. So in 2006 I hired my tractor, went there, and then it was a case of, you can just keep coming and helping us out when we're busy. And I kind of got the impression that was all I was ever going to be used for. And then one day it was explained that in August of 2007 I was going to be given a permanent full-time job, which was, it had been my long-standing dream to work on a farm. My Uncle Stephen, who was my actual uncle, the other uncles, Dick and George, they were not my uncles. They weren't sort of legitimate uncles. We just called them Uncle George and Uncle Dick, and I think they were my mum's uncles actually. And so to actually sort of get a job on that farm. But anyway, I'm digressing again to get back to the bloody Grimmy story. So Uncle Dick sort of, I drove that at White's, and I was like, oh yeah. He goes, I really want it. So I said, well, go to Pledger's, which was a toy store just up, again about 10 minutes down the road. It's in Longsurn, and I said, yeah, go there. That's where I got mine from. He was like, he goes, yeah. He goes, but he goes, I'm already here and I could buy it here. And I said, but I don't want to sell it. So he said, how much did you pay for it? And I think I probably paid about 35 quid for it. And because back in those days you could afford to collect the toys. I mean, the price of them today, Jesus, what the hell happened? Do you know what I mean? Are they made out of gold or something now? Jeez, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so he said to me, he said, why? He said, well, let's say, you paid 35 quid for it. I said, yeah. He said, then you had your diesel, didn't you? Or petrol at the time, because I had a petrol car at the time. So I said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, then you had your time, didn't you? So I said, yeah. So he said, if I give you 45 quid for it, I'll give you a tenner for your time and your petrol. He said, you'd sell it to me, wouldn't you? So I said to him, oh, I don't know about that. So he said, well, you could go and get another one and you'd still have a bit of money left over. You'd have made money. So I said, I don't really want to go and get it. So he's like, he goes, come on. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, give us 50 quid for it. I said, it's yours. So he goes, oh, no. He said, that's silly, that is. He said, like, why would I give you 50 quid for something I could go down the road and buy it, for 35? He said, I've offered you 45 for it. He said, like, don't get too greedy now, will you? And in the end, I ended up selling him it. Because he was a very persuasive man. And so I sold him this, made £10 on it, and of course a week or two after I'd been and bought the first one, I had to go and buy the second one, because I go into the toy shop to buy the second one. Well, the girls in the toy shop, it's a family-run toy shop, and the girls in the toy shop obviously know that I, collect the tractors and what have you, and she says to me, she says, you only bought that a couple of weeks ago. She said, you haven't broke it already, have you? And I said, no, I sold it for 45 quid. And she was like, she goes, oh, well, I'll sell you ours then for 45. I said, oh, no. I said, you've got it on the shelf for 35. I said, you'll behave yourself and sell it to me for 35. I said, in actual fact, for you being cheeky, I said, that should now be 30 quid. But no, they were good girls in there, and very occasionally, they would say, oh, that's coming to the end of the run. We're not stocking that once it sells out. And I used to go, all right, and then she used to go, you give us that much for it so we can get rid of it now. Or if they had 2 or 3 left, and they would say, I'll give us 20 quid for the 3 of them. You can sell the other 2 or 3 of them and make money on them. And they were good, they were. But I used to, I didn't use them for every model that I had, but for the vast majority of the CQ and Britain stuff that I did buy was usually from there. And I think they kind of knew that, and that's that. I think that's why they sometimes used to say, well, we're actually trying to get rid of them. Give us, and it would be like really cheap as well, like better than wholesale prices, and so I'd end up getting these 3 models because I've got an eBay page, and and I would shove them straight onto eBay, and of course sell them, and make some sort of some okay money out of it. Now that does actually bring me on to something that I've been meaning now for a video or two to ask. And it just keeps like I sort of get in the video, I get talking, or I get doing the time lapse, or and because I then forget, other stuff happens and I then forget. So I would like to do a couple of t-shirts. So I had before, so when I left the farm, when I had to leave the farm because of my health, I obviously needed something to do, and as I just mentioned, I had an eBay page, and so I started doing it, selling sort of designer clothes and dresses and stuff like that, that I could get really cheap and sell on, and I was doing okay. It was doing all right. It wasn't really what I wanted to do, but it was helping, because contrary to belief, for most people in this country, for someone like myself who is now permanently signed off, so I'm what's called medically retired. I can't work no more because I don't have the physical strength. My heart symptoms are most days, and they range from lightheadedness, dizziness, to not being able to breathe, a whole range of things. And so St Bart's in London, my heart team, medically retired me and said, like, you really don't need to be putting no strain on your heart. You need to, be chilling out, sort of most of the time, and just taking life really easy. So I had the eBay page. I'm on benefits, obviously, and as I say, contrary to belief, I'm not a millionaire. It's a struggle. The amount that we get, you consider. So at work in the harvest, I would be on about, from probably June to November, I'd be earning about anywhere between 1,700 and £2,000 a month. Yes, I had to work a lot of hours for that, but that was what I was earning. I don't now. I don't get that in 3 months worth of benefits. So that's how much. As soon as I had to give up my job. We lost out. Me and my ex-partner. We lost our house. We were living a really good life, and I lost. As I say, we lost the house, and then a couple of years after that, she left me. For someone else who basically had money. That's there's no other way of putting it. And so I got the eBay page, and as I say, I was selling designer dresses and clothes that I could get really, really cheap. Sort of again, I seem to be able to strike rapport with people quite quickly, and a couple of shops that I'd found online that I wanted to. One was a toy shop, an outdoor toy shop, and I wanted to buy my son, a few things, and I couldn't afford them, and so I emailed the company and said to them, look, I want to buy this for my son. I can't afford it. I don't want to be paying monthly because I can't commit to that. So, would you allow me to sell your products on my eBay site? I could then generate you sales, me sales, and that thus means then I will eventually have enough money to be able to buy the product that I want for my son. Now, the lady that owned the business, or her and her husband, got in touch with me and said, actually we've never been approached like that. How will it work? And I said, basically, what will happen is, I will list everything you have on your site, on my site, on my eBay page. If I make a sale, I then put the order through to you. You then send it out to my customer, thus meaning I pay you, and then that's how it's sort of kind of going to work. And you'll make your money on it, and I'll make a little bit of money on it as well. I'll make like sort of £2 on it or something, two, £3 on it. And to my surprise, she said, actually it's something that would be quite interesting to do because it would help spread our name, further. And eventually, that's what we did after a few more talks and a meeting. I went up to the company and met them and what have you, and they agreed, to sell it to me for a lot less than what they had it listed for on their shop, so that I could make more than sort of a couple of quid off it. And that's how I sort of a few Christmases and birthdays is looking after my son. That's how I did it. And then I did the same, as I say, with a company that was selling designer dresses and clothes and wedding dresses and stuff like that. And again, after sort of talking to them and sort of being sort of quite friendly towards them, that also worked. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. Ultimately, what I wanted to do was I wanted to do YouTube videos. I wanted to play, because I was playing Farm Sim, as like same as I am today, sort of 15 to 18 hours a day. And I wanted to put videos up because, the ironic thing is, the reason I wanted to do it was because I thought I had some stories to tell. I thought, maybe I might be interesting to listen to. I might be, engaging enough to tell people, some things that have happened in my life and what have you, and that people might enjoy the fact that the farming or farm sim is going on, but at the same time you're kind of, sort of hearing, sort of what life's like on a real farm, and quite a big farm as well. And that was really what I wanted to do. And then, of course, recently, the government, or the previous government, realised actually people like myself are making a few extra quid in trying to support ourselves and our family and our homes and everything else, and pay my rent and all the other, bills and everything that, and so therefore what we'll do is we'll have a look at what they're earning from that, from eBay, Shopify, and all of those other sites. And then what we'll do is we'll deduct the amount they're earning from that, from their benefits, so that actually they'll be getting less than what they would be getting if they just stayed on benefits, rather than trying to help themselves and maybe one day grow a business that would actually mean we could come off benefits completely, because we would be, running and, earning money from our own businesses. Now what we'll do is we'll penalise them, and we'll stop them doing that and just keep them doing nothing all day, and make sure that they can't support their families, make sure that, that his kids don't deserve the same things that, sort of my kids deserve, and what have you. Meanwhile, they're allowed 3 jobs and, pay no tax on any of them, and, whatever. But anyway, so I had to stop. But I eventually moved that kind of, before that happened, I moved into t-shirts. Printing my own t-shirts, and I printed mainly stock car and football t-shirts for people to wear. So I designed the t-shirts myself, and then I had a company that would print them for me, and then sell me the t-shirts, obviously at wholesale price, and then I would sell them on, and that was doing okay. And I'd like to do the same. I'd like to do that for Farming Sim. I'd like to design a few t-shirts, a few hoodies, and whatever else. But I'm not sure how I would go about listing them on YouTube. So put in the link in my YouTube. Does YouTube have a shop that I can use, or does it have a way of me being able to use and then put it in? Do I need to get a shop? I mean, because if I need to get a shop or whatever, I mean, I've still got my eBay page. I'm reluctant to use the eBay page because that can be, as I say, if they start doing okay, then I'm sort of in danger of being penalised for it. But I would like to do them, so I didn't know whether you guys out there, maybe could have a suggestion, or how I might be able to do them, or sort of not. I'm not really asking how to get around the problem. It's just how could I list them so that you guys can buy them, and am I allowed to kind of make an eBay listing and sell it on YouTube? I don't know. I don't. I've tried reading up on it, and I'm none the wiser, to be fair. So I don't really know, what to sort of make of it. So I thought I'd ask, and then kind of see what everyone thought. I mean, is t-shirts and merchandise something you would want to buy? I mean, I would only do t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. I wouldn't be doing the cups and other stuff, and the baseball caps, because I just wouldn't know where or how to even go about that. But as I say, the company that did my football and stock car t-shirts, they're quite happy to do sort of any t-shirts that I want, and yeah, so I just how would I sort of get them up and listed on on YouTube, and give people the opportunity, if they wanted to have some. I mean, I'm not worried if they don't sell any, but it's just something I would like to do. I mean, obviously I've already designed one that I have myself and I wear when I go out, in the vain hope that someone may also like Farming Sim, see my t-shirt and go, oh, I'll check it out. I'd love to know whether that has actually brought in any subscribers, because I'm guessing it probably does bring in views, but I wonder if it's brought in, as I say, any subscribers or anything like that. It would be interesting to know, but And again, the only reason why I'm asking is I went to the Royal Norfolk show a couple of weeks ago, and while I was there, I had my t-shirt on. I kind of figured farming show. People there probably interested in farming, and so therefore, and I had it on, and a couple of people approached me and said, "Oh, I'd really like that t-shirt. Where did you get it from?" And I said, "Well, actually, I designed it myself. I am the person whose, YouTube page I'm advertising." And I know one of them definitely has subscribed, because we exchanged phone numbers, and to be fair, he sort of messages sort of sporadically, but he did say, "By the way, mate, I've just subscribed to your channel. Love your content, what have you. Sort of keep it up, that sort of stuff." And yeah, it's brilliant. And and he sort of said, maybe other people would like it as well. Sort of, because I did him a t-shirt and sent it off to him, and he says that he now wears that when he goes out and what have you, which is really good because obviously it's advertising the YouTube page. But I didn't know whether, leave a comment below. Is that something that you would be interested in, having, or do you think, kind of, nah, not for me, and and I won't do it. I'm kind of sort of putting out the feelers, if you will. But yeah, just tell me what you think. Like I said, I mean, it's not, there won't suddenly be hundreds and hundreds. Do you know what I mean? Like, but there's just one t-shirt that I've done a couple of days ago, again just for myself, and I really like it. And yesterday I popped up into town, and a couple of people commented and said, "Well, I really like this t-shirt. What game is that?" And I said, like, it's Farming Sim, and they said, like, well, I'll check it out. I didn't, sort of know. So not only is it getting me recognised, unbelievably, there are still people out there that don't know Farming Sim exists. So it's brilliant to introduce, sort of new people to the game, and potentially new modders, and that's all good stuff. Anyway, this is going fantastically well, I have to say. We're going to be done this far quicker than what I actually thought we would be done this. So yeah, pleased with this. Very pleased with this, in fact. And once we get this turned over, we can then get it planted and get it ploughed. Get it planted and ploughed. Get it planted and get it rolled. Yeah, dear me. So yeah. Dear. I'm pleased that people seem to have liked the first episode of the Farm Manager. Really pleased about that. I have to admit that is a save that I think I'm gonna absolutely love doing if I can pull it off. I was very relieved to read from a couple of people in the comments that the vlog feel to that video came through. That it was, sort of a farmer trying to make a vlog, and that came across, which I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to pull that off. But as I say, the couple of people, I think it was 2 or 3 people, commented and said, you achieved that really well. At the time of recording this episode, that was kind of like the intro. Was like the pilot episode, if you like, where I basically introduced the farm, introduced the machinery that we'll be using, introduced sort of where we were, and where the farm was, where we lived on the farm, and all that sort of stuff. But yesterday, as you'll know, the proper first episode of us actually doing farming work went out. So if you haven't seen that already, please go check it out. And hopefully, as I say, at the time of recording this, it obviously hasn't gone out. It's due to go out Monday. This will go out hopefully Tuesday, and to give you some sort of, because people sometimes are interested, today is Saturday. It's Saturday morning. So yeah, but that's sort of at the moment how far I am. But Homeworld takes quite a while to record, and so I ended up sort of typically I do 2 videos a day. So Homeworld took me 2 days to record. So essentially, instead of making 4 videos, I only made one Homeworld video. So what happens is it's kind of set me back a couple of days. But as I say, today I'll get this recorded today, and then in a couple of hours I'm going out. I'm going down to Skegness. There's a big stock car meeting on there this weekend, the UK Championships. Didn't go Thursday, even though I was hoping to. Didn't go, and then wish I had gone, which is just typical of me. But as I say, I'm really hoping that I can get myself to go. I do struggle going out places now on my own. Like, it's a bit hard to kind of get my head round and used to, especially when you go somewhere like sort of stock cars, because you're going to be there sort of 5-6 hours or whatever. And I'm a chatty person, and to sit there for 5-6 hours and kind of not say anything is difficult. Yes, I'm okay because I can concentrate on the racing, and there's sort of sporadic conversations going on around, which sometimes I listen to, or sort of comment to in my head or whatever, but it's really, obviously this year I broke up with the girl that I was with, and we both really enjoyed going racing, and it was really nice to finally have someone to share a passion that I have with, who was as passionate about it as what I was. And so I've now been a few times this year. Kings Lynn's my local track, and I can go there sort of okay by myself. It's sort of, from where I live, it's like 20 minutes down the road. It's not very far away, and it's okay. But Skeg is a little further away. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away, really. I've never driven there before in my life on my own. I've driven there with other people, mainly my mum, and she's kind of like, oh, you want to be in this lane, that lane, speed camera there, typical sort of mum passenger. And she's telling me, well, mind the cyclist, and I can't even see the cyclist at this point. She's got her mother super strength glasses on, and sort of 16 miles down the road she can see a cyclist. So but that it's good stuff. And she's sort of telling me what lanes to get in, and what, because basically Boston is the bit that I have the trouble with. I have a sort of mental block with Boston. Boston is an absolute nightmare to drive around, because no one knows how the lane system works at the roundabouts, and everyone gets in every other lane and then starts trying to cut across traffic, and I'm sort of kind of, obviously, with my heart condition and stuff, I'm a little bit worried in today's modern sort of craze of road rage that I make a silly little mistake and suddenly, that ends up with me getting the absolute boop kicked out of me, or my car smashed, or even worse. So I'm sort of, and that was again where my ex that I broke up with this year, was brilliant, because she used to go, I'll drive everywhere, don't worry about it. And and I was like, yeah, but and she used to get a bit excited when driving, and I used to say, well, stop it, because I'm expected to sort of stick up for you. And she went, oh no, you're not. She said, you get out of my way, I'll have them. So I'm kind of like, it was the man that was kind of driving around with the bodyguard. It was brilliant. But So today's the first day that I'm going to attempt it on my own. I have to admit, and I'll admit it to you guys now, I chickened out on Thursday. I got to the time when I needed to leave, about sort of 5:15, and I thought, I should get off really, because need to get there. I didn't think it would be that busy, but I've since watched the videos on YouTube, and it was absolutely rammed. So even if I had left at 5:30, I still wouldn't have got there for the start, because apparently around the stadium the queues were horrendous, and quite a few people missed sort of 15, 20 to half an hour of the racing. So it didn't, I wouldn't have seen as much anyway. But today I'm going early, so I plan to leave here about 1:30, and then as I say, I've got to get some diesel, and then get myself. I can't really remember where the stock car track is, and I can't really remember how to get there. So, I don't have an iPhone, because my little brother going, I'll get an iPhone, get your sat nav on there, Google Maps or whatever. He said, like, you'll be well away, you'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, well, I ain't got any of that. So and so the car does have inbuilt sat nav. The car is about, I think I've had the car about 14 years now. I had the car brand new, back when I was earning the major money, and I had the car brand new, and it had sat nav, but it has never been updated. And the one thing about the sat nav in the car that I hate, it doesn't tell me which lanes to get in. It just says you need to be turning, you need to be going. It'll give me the road numbers, and I'm like, no. Is it left, straight on, or right? Don't give me a road number. I live in the village, and I was coming back from dropping my little boy off on Wednesday, and in the time I'd gone through the road, along the road, got off that road, got onto another road, and got my little boy to his mum's house, and by the time I'd done that and come back, the road that I needed to get to the village, to where I live, had been shut. Now I've lived in the village for well, getting on a good 41, 42 years. I've lived in the village. So the road that I needed was shut, and the road that was the alternative had been shut for the last few weeks, because they're rebuilding the road. It runs along a river, and basically the road has sunk into the river, so they're rebuilding it and re-strengthening it and what have you. And obviously a part of that sort of repair and work meant that the other side had now been closed, and as I say, that was from when I'd travelled on it, so it must have literally closed straight after me. And I sort of went by the two closed roads and was on this road, and I was thinking, I don't know where I am. and I was sort of racking my brains trying to think of when, sort of mum or dad may have been taking me down that road, and I was thinking, I'm going towards I can't think of the name, Crowland. I thought, I'm going towards there. I thought, how do I get back? I need to be going the opposite way. And in the end, what I had to do was I had to completely scrap what I was doing, turn around, drive all the way back to the closed roads, drive all the way back to where my son lives, and then go sort of 18 miles round, because I knew from where my son lived how to get to the next town to then get back all the way round without having to use those roads. So that's how bad I am at sort of road names, numbers, directions, and just generally getting myself from A to B. So I'm absolutely dreading today, just in case there is a road shut somewhere, or because I don't really know where I'm going anyway. I know where I'm supposed to end up. I just don't know how to get there. But I do know where I'm supposed to end up, which is it's fairly handy. But yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting day, and I'm fully expected to get lost, or expecting to get lost, and yes, so I don't know, but as I say, never mind. It's all the fun of the fair, I think. Anyway, I've rabbited on for far too long in this video. You're all bored to tears if you're still watching, of course. Although I'm a very interesting man, so I would see no reason why you wasn't. Yeah, I'm going to sign off. So if you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share the videos wherever you share your videos. It really does help. I'm trying to get to 450 subscribers by the time the 1st of August comes, which is 3 weeks, is it? Thursday just gone, I think. 2-3 weeks, Thursday just gone. So yeah, I'm trying to get to 450 subscribers by then. So if you are watching the video and you haven't subscribed, or you've watched the Farm Manager and a few of the other series and you enjoy them, please subscribe. It really does help, and for someone like myself, it really does help to keep me motivated to keep going, because sometimes, some days I do doubt myself, and I do, sort of second guess and question myself, and then a day or two later, perhaps get 2, 3, 4 subscribers, and it really bumps me up, and I'm ready to go sort of again. So it really does help me, yeah, I I really would appreciate it. But all that's left for me to say is thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.